Hello YouTube, hello the internet, Lady Montes speaking. This is probably going to be my first ever rant. I'm sorry if it's a bit off or a bit low key or whatever. I'm using a cheap recorder and just using Windows Movie Maker, so forgive me. Topic today is, and I've been wanting to get this off my chest, is the real meaning of being objectified as told by someone who has been objectified. You know, feminists or modern feminists, radical feminists, like to try and make everything that a man or a woman does as inherently bad. That a woman who empowers herself sexually is simply objectifying herself or being objectified. Now, I can go on a total feminists are stripping women of their human rights, of the rights of expressing themselves sexually, of their rights of being modeling, being in the sex industry, to be sexy for a man if they choose to, you know, freedom of choice. And I think feminism takes that away from women, and it also demonizes men and men's sexuality, but that's a topic for another day. Something that really needs to be drilled into feminists' heads, and that's the real meaning of objectification. Now, just a bit of background. Objectification is not inherently bad. It's the intent of the person that makes the objectification bad. Objectification, we do it all the time. We look in the mirror, when we wash our hair, we objectify ourselves, when we get dressed. Every day, we objectify ourselves. When we interact with our partners, our friends, it happens all the time. This does not mean it is bad. This is the real objectification. Is not and will never simply be doing art of boobs shown or consenting to pose nude for an adult magazine. People who pose nude for an adult magazine are doing it for money, they're doing it out of their own choice, they're doing it because it makes them happy and it gives them a way of living. You know, if they choose to objectify themselves, it's not to believe rape culture or patriarchy, that is their freedom of choice. Alright? So, doing art, a naked art of the human body, the autonomy of the human body, adult magazines, and sex is not bad. Alright, we'll get that clear. That's just human sexuality and erotic art which shouldn't be shamed. I find it ironic that in a Western world that tries to be sexually progressive, we are actually repressing sex. Especially in men and especially in other women. Now, I don't know what pisses me off worse than hypocrites. In this time and age of social activism, it feels like we're going back to medieval dark days where sex was a sin. We've got sex-negative feminists who will bully other women for the choices they personally make. Now, I thought feminism was supposed to support women, but obviously not. No, real objectification is when someone or a group of people strip you down to nothing more than their personal ATM or credit card, where people, against your consent, saying this because people into BDSM do consent to humiliation. That is an actual role-play in fantasy. That is actually something that comes under safe, sane, and consensual, and under the risk assessment. That is something between two consenting adults, and it's just the law. That is for another topic and for another time. Anyways, treat you like you are worthless, you are stupid, where people time and time again, physically, verbally, or both, abuse you to the point you become nothing but a personal wreckage. An entanglement of issues piled onto each other is what real objectification does. It is not sex, it is not consensual sex, It is not being sexy or wearing lingerie. It is not modeling. It is when someone malevolently actually abuses you. It is harassment. That is what objectification is. The real form of objectification is making someone feel like nothing more than a ragdoll for other people's personal gain. From rapists and molesters, personal factoids, to those you trusted using you as a means of financial gain, or using you as their own punching bag. Being objectified means becoming a scapegoat for everyone else. It's moulding someone until they're no longer themselves, their personalities, their identity. It's when people abuse you to the point even you reject your own individual existence. It's when you reject your own masculine or feminine quality, and it disgusts me because feminists are the very fucking body of what objectification is. Women are their targeted victims. From stripping men of their masculinity to shaming women of their femininity, feminists are the prime example of objectification. If your ideology or movement means you need to shame others for their own individual existence, if it means demanding they assist you as your own personal ATM, as in the case of the give money to women hashtag, if it means invalidating others, as in the case of male tears, then you are, by your own definition, objectifying someone or a group of people. Dear feminists, you vilify other women and other men to the point they become nothing more than your personal play toys for you to impose your sick, twisted social politics onto. End of rant.